It's Monday, May 11th, 2026, and this is episode 359 of You Can Bet on That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet on That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. I'm Mark Duvall.
And I'm Dr. Mike.
Dr. Mike, what exciting casino stories have you got for us?
I have none.
What?
Zero. Yes, I haven't been able to go. I was busy and all kinds of stuff going on.
All right. Well, no excuses, Dr. Mike.
Yeah, I'm going to try and visit one of them very soon.
All right. Let me know when you are. I'll tweet it out.
Okay.
So,
Right.
if somebody wants to come join you,
Yep,
a little company there. All right.
School's grinding down here.
Yeah.
Oh, I might go in for a weekday
Oh.
in the afternoon or something.
All right. Very exciting. Well, Dr. Mike, of course, the big news since we last recorded is that all the properties in Primm, Nevada are closing. Now,
Yes.
People may not know Primm, but we've always referred to it as State Line. It's that
Right.
little community on the Nevada side of the state line with California. And this is sad news for us because
Right.
it kind of has a place in our hearts. Anybody who has driven to Vegas from Southern California knows that there's this turn you make. You're kind of high up on the mountain. You make this turn, and then all of a sudden you see State Line, you see Primm and all the lights.
And you're still 10 miles away.
Yeah, it seems like it's closer than it is. But
It seems like, we'll be there in a minute or two. But no, you're still 10 miles away.
it seems so much closer. Yeah, we actually one time measured it, and it's about 10 miles. But this was the first opportunity to gamble when you got into Nevada. And maybe even more importantly, it was your last chance to gamble when you were leaving Nevada. We made plenty of stops on the drive home where it's like, let's get out of Vegas. And then, 40 minutes later, it's like, well, maybe let's try one more time. I know you and I did it many times, Mike. I think you did it with your dad.
Yeah, several times. We had good luck that one time with my dad. We made a big comeback.
I remember even with me, you would make a big comeback. And, the limits at these casinos were only, like the maximum you could bet on the craps table was like $600 on the 6 and 8.
Right.
And I remember you got it pressed up to those once or twice and made a nice
I
comeback.
remember one time, I think it was me, you, and Paul, we stopped and it was a losing trip. And I was back and I said, I'm just going to put $300 each on 6 and 8.
Yep.
And, that was when we were young and didn't have all that much money. And sure enough, I made a killing. 6s and 8s came up.
There was at least one time, Dr. Mike, back in the 90s where we didn't have a lot of time, but we said, let's drive to Vegas. We'll play for just a little bit and we'll drive back. And we decided on the drive there, hey, let's just stop at Primm because that'll save us about an hour and a half round trip.
Oh, yeah.
Right? As we'll have more time to gamble. So, we just stayed there and played and then drove back. And I remember another time we were so tired driving to Vegas. We were so tired. It's like, Mike, let's just stop, get a room in Primm. We'll spend the night and then we'll continue on to Las Vegas.
Right.
And I don't know if you remember, but in the middle of the night, the fire alarm went off.
Right. Yep. In the middle of the night.
We're trying to get some rest.
We're looking down the hall. Nobody's moving or anything.
Yeah. Do we really need to get up? How dangerous could it be?
We didn't even get out of bed, I don't think.
And we survived.
That was funny. I think that was the only time I actually stayed in Primm.
Yes, me too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the only time we spent a night there. Yeah, the casinos were nothing special. I really thought when they built that Buffalo Bills and they had that roller coaster that went through the casino and then out.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty good roller coaster.
Did you ride on it?
Yes.
I did too. Yeah, well, that drop, you can still see the roller coaster, people who drive in. That initial drop was something. And I think it kind of went not underground, but below street level, and then came back up. Yeah, that was a themed place, right? Buffalo Bills.
Right.
Yeah,
it was a themed place. And I thought when they built it, okay, this is going to be something people are going to go to, right? You're in LA and you maybe just a night, take the kids, they ride the roller coaster. They had a pool, stuff like that, but it just seemed to never take off.
Well, I think the real culprit, and actually I'm surprised Primm survived as long as it did. Once full-blown casinos opened up in California, people were less likely to go. Primm definitely appealed to an older crowd, right? You'd have like seniors come in, they drive in, just stay there. They don't need the whole Vegas experience. They're just there to stay at one place, gamble, relax, have decent meals. And that's probably what ultimately killed it, was the California casinos. They couldn't survive.
Right. And I think a lot of people from Los Angeles came to the border there for quick turnarounds.
For sure.
Because it wasn't that far from LA. You could get there fairly quick and everything. And then with all the Indian casinos, there were several from LA to there that were even closer, right?
Yeah.
And they were new, and so that really took away from that. I wonder if they're going to keep that little store at the border.
No, they are not. That's
the California store?
I'm glad you brought that up. Yes. They called it the Lotto store because it was on the California side of Primm, if you consider it still Primm. And it's where Las Vegas residents would go to get California lottery tickets. And it was extremely popular, especially when the jackpots got big.
Right.
But
you drive 40 minutes and get some lottery tickets.
According to these reports, everything in Primm is shutting down. That store, the gas stations, there will be nothing open there. So,
and are they going to tear it all down?
Well, who knows, right? I mean, that's a cost as well. It may just sit there. Whiskey Pete's closed down a while back, and it's just sat there.
Right.
So, there's a price that goes with demolition, too. It would have to be whoever takes it over, and I don't know that anybody will take it over now.
Well, Mark, we should consider it, you and I.
Oh, yeah, we've been talking about a casino.
We just make a mega resort. I mean, just this mega huge resort with everything, and it'll be like new little Vegas or something.
All right, maybe build an airport.
Eventually Vegas closes down, and it's just us out there.
Wow.
Yeah, we build an airport. That's the first thing we do.
First thing, and it'd have to be a big one, too. We'd need the jets to come in. It couldn't be some regional, prop plane kind of thing.
No, we're taking junkets from Hong Kong and junkets from Prague and stuff like that,
So anyway, July 4th is currently the closing date. So if you want to stop by, gosh, if I do get to Vegas, because I may go at the end of June. There's talk about maybe going for the tail end of the WSOP. I would drive. I definitely stop in at least to take a look and see what's going on. But
what about after the border? What's the next casino you can get to?
Nothing really until you get to M Resort. There used to be a couple of casinos in Jean. Right? And now Jean is just that giant Chevron station, which, that does pretty well, right? At least when I go in, it's a huge store inside, right?
Right. It's a novelty type thing.
Yeah.
So, M Resort would be the first one.
I think so.
Got to be good for them, I think. Maybe.
I don't know. Nobody's, thinking, hey, let's drive all the way. We'll stop at M Resort. That'll save us 20 minutes to the strip. I don't think it has the same appeal as Primm did. But
well, you know me, Mark, how I like expediency. I like to save that 20 minutes. I mean, and when we're gambling, we do everything we can to save every little bit of gambling.
That's
time.
True. All right. Well, if you and I ever drive to Vegas from Southern California again, which I don't see ever happening, we'll stop at M. M is doing fine.
Yeah, they're doing good. Yeah, I don't know that we'll ever be driving from Southern California.
I don't think so. Hey, when you come out in June, if you want to drive, one last chance at Primm, that'll be your last chance, Mike.
Yeah, I know.
Let me know.
I don't think so. I think I'd rather just go to Sequan or something.
All right. Well, Dr. Mike, I was playing poker at the casino and I was coloring up, you get those racks that you put your chips in and then take it up to the cashier. And I was thinking, Mike, how you and I used to refer to them as Ike Racks.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how we heard that they were called Ike Racks. And I was thinking about it recently, and nobody calls them Ike Racks. And even when I did a search on the internet, I didn't find anything referring to them as Ike Racks, except for...
They call them chip racks?
Yeah, just chip racks. One exception, Gambler's General Store had an Ike Rack for sale, and it actually said Ike Rack, Ike Dollar Racks. Where did we hear about it, first of all?
I want to say it was at Gambler's General Store the very first time we went there and we wanted to buy one, and they were called Ike
Maybe
Racks.
That's where we did hear about it.
Yeah, and then we thought that was neat because our friend Paul's uncle was named Ike.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact that I have at points said to like a pit boss or somebody, could I get an Ike Rack? And
they knew what you were talking about? Okay.
Yeah, they knew what I was talking about, and they brought it. Now, that's a long time ago. Maybe now the younger crews wouldn't know.
Well, I don't know that the older crews were. And I would guess that if you asked, could I get an Ike Rack? They didn't even hear the word Ike. They just knew that you had chips you needed to move to another table or something. They brought you a rack.
Maybe. Well, I'll tell you what, though. I mean, you've confirmed there are Ike Racks.
Yes.
At the Gambler's General Store.
Yep.
And I might make it my personal goal for the last 50 years of my life to make sure that everyone knows they're called Ike Racks.
Okay. I'm going to start referring to them as Ike Racks. Listeners, are there any listeners out there who have ever heard the term Ike Rack when it comes to these chip racks? Let us know.
I'll just start spreading it around. Yeah, can I get an Ike Rack? And then, put it down and go to the next table. Yeah, can I get an Ike Rack? Eventually, it'll just be a thing. People, I need an Ike Rack.
Or just, and then, it'll get so common. Can I get an Ike? I need an Ike for my chips. A what?
It's just called an Ike, and pretty soon it's just I.
Can I get an I? Right away, sir.
Maybe we were just dreaming all this.
No, I found the link. It took me a while, though. I just did a search on Google. It didn't come up right away. I had to keep searching, so I don't know.
It's getting hard to tell reality from dreams anymore.
Yeah, maybe AI just was playing a trick on me. Oh, he thinks they're called Ike Racks, huh? All right, I'll create a page for him to go look at.
Yeah, that AI guy's a jerk.
Yeah. Well, speaking of AI, we got an email from our friend Robin Aubin. And he said, I just tried to record a phone call for you, but I just couldn't get it right. So I'm sending an email that I can edit and not have in every phrase as I go. So I read the email and I wrote back to Robin and I said, hey, Robin, what would you think if we had an AI clone of your voice read your email on the show? And he wrote back, is a little tentative, like, really? You could do that? I don't know. I could just call in now and just read the email now that I have a script. And so I sent him a recording of the clone, and he said, all right, let's go for it. So with real Robin's permission, here is virtual Robin reading real Robin's email.
Good morning, Mark and Dr. Mike. I hope you're doing well. My birthday cruise on the Norwegian Luna was the best time ever. I spent my entire bankroll for the trip by the end, but I've never played so much and so long on a cruise ship. Lots of quads, never over $2,000, but a lot over the old $1,200 limit. One night I played Pai Gow, $25 table, which seems typical. Mohegan Sun next to me has $15 weekdays, but I digress. Like you, I never play progressive side bets on table games, but it was my birthday, so I did. Fourth hand, after initial wash, I hit 3 aces and a joker, 4 aces and $800 when the smoke cleared. Had lots of luck playing multi-hand video poker. I mostly played Super 5 play, which has enhanced quads for each game. I played bonus poker, 8-5 pay table, and 2 for 1 for 2 pair. As good a pay table as you see on land. A great game to play with lower volatility than most. Highly suggested for longer sessions. As a matter of fact, the limits were pretty good throughout the Norwegian Luna. $15 craps, $5 3-card poker, pretty much close to or better than most of the Vegas Strip properties, which brings me to comment on playing in a cruise ship casino. Cruise ships do follow rules set up by the Cruise Lines Industry Association, or CLIA, a trade group that features all the big cruise lines. The CLIA policy is that all equipment purchased and installed on cruise vessels will meet the regulatory standards of the Nevada Gaming Control Board or other licensed jurisdiction for payback and internal software. Electronic machines, including slots, are tested to meet those regulations, so cruise ship casinos can't just do anything they want. It does mean that slots have minimum payback rules of 75%, just like any Nevada casino slot machine, as well as CLIA policy about how payback can be updated and tested. But if you think about it, cruise ship casinos have no more reason to tinker with payouts than land-based ones with the CLIA policy. Besides, a cruise ship has a captive audience. The more sea days usually mean more gambling days. Like any land-based casino, more gambling days mean the house edge raises its ugly face sooner or later, usually sooner. And any personal observations in a cruise ship casino are still a very, very small sample. The more we gamble, the more that selective memory comes into play. So I think the opinions of cruise ship gamblers can really turn to the dark side quickly, as with any gambler, when things don't happen as we hope or expect. If you choose to cruise and gamble, approach it like any casino, because the policies are the same. And if it is an important part of your vacation, check out the numerous reviews available online by reliable sources. Thanks, Mark and Dr. Mike, for the consistently great info you provide for us. Keep the faith that Royal is just around the corner.
All right. Thanks, Robin.
You know, that AI-generated voice sounds a lot like Robin.
It really does. They have done some great things with AI.
Oh, my God. It sounds really... Honestly, if you hadn't have told me, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah. When you can hear some things like, okay, the inflection there, or that was a little fast or whatever. But It is astonishing. I agree. So yeah, good information about cruise ships. I had not heard of CLIA before. So that's good to know that, they're not just off there doing whatever they like.
No, they can't, because they've all got hantavirus.
Yeah. That's right.
I mean, cruise ship industry actually has done well, I think, even though they've had a lot of setbacks with
their PR, yeah.
Now people dying in viruses and just all kinds of odd things.
The Poop Cruise? Watch that documentary, The Poop Cruise. Right, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Well, I saw an ad recently for a cruise, and the big highlight at the top was not where they were going, but that there was no casino on board.
Yeah.
Like, that was a selling point.
You'll see that, with some of those river cruises in Europe, they definitely do emphasize that. No casino on board.
Right. But this was almost like, this is a good thing. This was an ocean cruise, but no casino. Yeah. Like, if you're tempted and your cruise is ruined because you lost, $2,000 in the casino, you don't have to worry. We don't have a casino.
That's right.
That kind of thing.
So, it's being marketed to people who, for whatever reason, hate when there's a casino on board, or will be too tempted to play at the casino. And
that's ridiculous. I mean, I wouldn't take a cruise without a casino, unless it's a Disney.
Unless it's Disney, yeah.
Kids, yeah.
All right. Well, glad you had a good time, Robin, and happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday. Robin does not look his age.
No, we said that right on the previous episode. He said thank you for that too in his email for saying that.
But it's true. I mean, some people do, and some people, you got one of three choices. You look your age, you look younger, or you look like you're about ready to die.
Right. Those are the three choices.
Those are the three choices. Take it or leave it.
Well, Mike, we got an email from listener Terry M. He had a recommendation for a board game called The Gang. And our friend Lyndon, Lyndon, about a year ago, he actually showed me this game. He didn't actually walk through all of the play, and it is relatively complicated. I'm not going to try to explain it on the show. but it's based on Texas Hold'em, and it's a cooperative game. When you play with other players, you're not playing against them. You're playing with them for a goal. And the goal is, you have to win a certain number of... Again, I'm not going to explain it. I'll put a link to the game in our show notes. But it looks pretty interesting, and Lyndon certainly thought it was interesting, as did Terry M. So keep an eye out for that. The Gang. And Lyndon's really into board games, and this was one that he actually mentioned. Oh, Mark, let me show you this game. So,
yeah, I like board games, but if you're not playing against the other players...
Yeah, you're working together. That's sort of unique about it, right?
Very unique, because usually, you're in competition to win the game. So in this, you're just in competition to complete a task or something, or...
Yeah, exactly. With these Texas Hold'em hands. Kind
of like Dungeons and Dragons type situation.
Yeah, it could be, working together. Yeah, that's actually a good way to put it. And, for grammar police out there, it's not really grammar, but yes, Dr. Mike and I know that the word unique is basically binary. Something's either unique or it's not. You can't say it's very unique or kind of unique. But what other word could we use? Unusual? Well, that's got a bad connotation to it.
Yeah, that has a negative connotation.
Yeah, we're going to continue to say very unique, the most unique thing. All right. Thanks for listening.
Well, we're speaking in the vernacular, we're not using proper English.
No, of course not.
Who does?
Sometimes I do.
Yeah, most of the time you do.
Thank you, Dr. Mike.
Just in your normal, that's just your normal speak.
Yeah.
But me, I'm more folksy. Let's say that.
Oh,
folksy.
For sure you're more folksy than I am.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. A member! Whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, please go to our page first. YouCanBetOnThat.com and click through our Amazon link towards the top of the page. Every time I read that, it means it's voicemail time. So let's start off with Andrew.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Andrew from Dayton, Ohio. I was in Detroit this weekend for a conference in Detroit. Stopped by the Greektown casino to play a little craps. Got there at about 2 o'clock on Monday afternoon. The table limits were $15. There was maybe 10 people playing between two crapless tables. They also had some bubble craps machines as well. Bought in for about $200. Very quickly got down to $75. Was playing the pass line. A lot of the outside numbers were coming up as points, which were just brutal to try to make. So I lost quite a bit of money pretty quickly. Stopped playing the pass line because of that and just started placing the 6 and 8 and doing a couple of field bets. Managed to make all my money back plus another 95 on top of that. So cashed out and left with a group of friends and had some fun in town. Ended up coming back at about 1:30 in the morning to try my luck again. The table limits were all the way up to $25 on a Monday night in downtown Detroit with two crapless craps tables open and maybe 5 or 6 players between the two tables. At one point in time on one of the tables, I was the only one playing, and it was going so bad and the limits were so high that I left and played one of the bubble craps machines next to the table, and there was an entire crew standing at a $25 table at 1:45 in the morning with nothing to do because nobody was playing. So I was a little disappointed that the table limits were so high. $25 on a Monday night in Detroit in April seems kind of silly to me. And then having people working and paying them and then nobody playing the game seems even sillier. But in any event, had a good time. I'd recommend the Greektown Casino. It's nice. It's clean. It was not busy at all while we were there. And then when I left Monday at 2 o'clock in the morning, there was maybe a dozen people in the whole casino. So, but it's a good game. Had fun. Crapless craps is really tough playing the pass line. So I'll probably just stick to placing the 6 and 8 in the future instead of fiddling around with the pass line unless I'm shooting. So thanks a lot. Enjoy the show. Have a good one.
Yeah, the pass line in regular craps has a low house edge, just over 1%, but at crapless, it's over 5%. So it can eat into you pretty well. But right, if you just want to make place bets, yeah, crapless is the same, right? 6 and 8, go for it.
Yeah, there's no one twisting your arm to bet other than just regular craps.
Yeah, and you do have to bet on the pass line when you shoot, so that is a consideration. But yeah, the casinos know what they're doing when they have the high limits on these tables when maybe nobody is playing. Because if somebody does come up, maybe a single $25 player is going to earn them more money than a bunch of $10 players. But that does seem odd. Late at night, Monday, early Tuesday morning, 1:30, crapless table, nobody's playing $25. Yeah, that does seem a little wrong. All right, let's hear from Reverend Dave.
Hey, Mark, Dr. Mike. It's Reverend Dave from Northern New Jersey. How you doing? Hey, I had a question about correcting dealer mistakes. I had a situation the last time I was in Vegas. I was staying at the Gold Coast, and I came back from my travels for the day. And I see there's an empty spot at the craps table, so I step right up. And I notice that they're coloring people up. So, okay, great time to buy in. But I look, and the guy next to me who was coloring up had $437 in chips laying out there that had just been counted by the dealer. And the dealer was then taking chips out of the rack to pay him, and it was $432. So as he's getting the boxman's attention to do the double check, I said, count it again. And I'm pretty sure that they both heard me say it, but the boxman approves it, and the dealer starts pushing the chips to the player, and I said, count it again. And they didn't. Then the player reaches down and takes the chips, and I turned to him and I said, put those chips down. And the way I said it, with my finger pointing to the felt, he put them down, and then I said to the dealer, count them again. And this time he actually did count them again and realized it was $5 short. He added the $5. The player picks it up, and he walks away. And nobody says thank you or nothing. And I'm wondering, maybe I should just keep my mouth shut. I mean, I certainly would have kept my mouth shut if it was an overpay, but what the hell? Anyway, love the podcast. Keep up the good work. See you in Vegas sometime. Bye.
Yeah, you did the right thing, Dave, calling attention to it. Sure. Okay, yeah, the player probably should have said thank you. The
player's a jerk for not saying, oh, thank you.
Maybe, or, sometimes you get a little flustered. You're trying to figure out what's going on. Like, wait a minute, what is this new player saying about my stack? And, you forget. I don't know. I'm not making excuses, but, as far as the crew not responding to you, Dave, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they kind of were a little confused at first. Like if you said count it again, they're thinking, wait, what's he talking about? Is he buying in? Is he talking about that? Maybe if you'd said something like, oh, hey, I think you're shorting that guy $5 or, you're right. I don't know. But no, you did the right thing.
Yeah, they should say, even the dealers. Really,
yeah, the dealers should say, oh, yeah, thanks for they should.
Good catch. They should say, good catch.
That's what they should do. I agree. Yeah, we're people, right?
Yeah, you're going to meet all different kinds.
Yeah. All right, next call.
Hey, Mark, Dr. Mike, this is Ariel. Trip report, came back from a cruise, Carnival. Craps table opened like at 10:30 or 11 o'clock in the morning all the way till they closed on non-port days. But the all tall small bet is 200 on the small and tall, and then 50 max on the all. And I saw a guy hit it with 200 on the small twice, same shooter. No. It was ridiculous. Anyways, great trip. It was fun. We went to the Panama Canal. Definitely one of those bucket list trips. So it was wonderful. I recommend it. You guys need to go. Do you guys play like roulette? So that's kind of like interesting because I play the same numbers. I don't know if you guys choose different numbers when you guys play. Anyway, for craps, it was fun. We hit the all, tall, small throughout the whole trip. It was a 17-day trip. We hit it, for me, 3 times. I was shooting it 1 time. And then the all 5 times. And then the small, like 3 times. But anyways, overall, it was fun. $10 minimums, 2 times the odds on the pass line, and max of like $1,000 on each of the numbers. All right. Thank you for everything you guys do. Have a good one. Take care.
Okay, $200 on the small, twice on one shooter. That's like 14 grand.
Yeah, that's a nice payout.
Yeah.
That'd be a good crapless roll, too.
Oh, yeah, right, because you're hitting some of those outsides. Yeah.
Threes.
Yep.
Yeah, as far as roulette goes, I usually cluster them around birthdays or something like that, just hoping that they'll hit. pick one of my kids,
right.
put a chip right on their birthday, and then put a chip on all the lines around that, or something like that.
Yeah, and I am very boring on roulette. I usually just make the even money wagers. Red or black, odd or even. And to be honest, we rarely play roulette anyway. It's very unusual for us to play.
I know there was that when Golden Gate still had table games. Remember the roulette was right next to
Oh, yeah. And we played that because they had like a side bet that kind of worked like place bets in craps because it stayed up there over multiple spins. Yeah, I remember that.
And I think that was the longest I played at roulette anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, usually if I do, it's like, I got $10 left here.
Right.
I don't want to walk to the cashier.
It's to kill time or to deliberately try to lose your chips.
Chips, either lose or gain a lot.
Right. All right. Next up is Will.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Will from Rhode Island. Just finishing up a 4-night Las Vegas trip during the first weekend of May. I had 4 nights comped at Fontainebleau, but rather than stay at Fontainebleau the whole time, I actually spent the second and third night tent camping up at Zion National Park. I really like having trips where I can combine some casino time with some hiking and other outdoor activities, so this worked out really well. It was also nice to be able to leave a lot of my luggage in Las Vegas and just bring my tent and sleeping bag over to Zion. Actually, on Saturday, May 2nd, after setting up my campsite, I walked to a brew pub just outside the entrance of Zion to have a little late lunch. As I sat down on the patio, a guy was coming around offering $5 picks in a blind draw pool where you picked random slips of paper out of a pint glass. Each slip had a number written on it that corresponded to a horse in the Kentucky Derby, which I didn't realize was about to start in about 20 minutes. So, as you do, I gave the guy $10 for 2 entries, and the numbers I received were 7 and 19. Well, 19 was the post number for Golden Tempo, who I guess we all know won the whole thing. So my biggest win of my Las Vegas trip ended up happening in Utah, not a state traditionally known for its gambling. Oh, and just a quick restaurant recommendation specifically for Dr. Mike. It's this really authentic Italian spot on the Strip. I think it's just a little north of MGM Grand. I'm kind of surprised I haven't heard anyone mention it before. It's not Americanized, which I know is important to you. I'm actually amazed the menu is even in English. I don't speak Italian, so forgive me if I butcher the pronunciation, but I believe it's called Olive Garden. I don't know much about it other than the food is amazing. And honestly, when you're there, you're family. So anyway, Dr. Mike, you definitely need to check it out next time you're in Vegas. All right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
it's called Olive Garden.
Oh, it's Olive. Okay.
Olives.
Usually when we're in Las Vegas, we just eat at the casinos. But gosh, Dr. Mike, next time we're there, maybe we go off strip and try this place out.
Let me tell you something, Mark.
All right.
Olive Garden is probably the last place I'm going to eat at.
In Las Vegas, last place?
Last place ever anywhere.
From the guy who ate at Panda Express last time.
And I'm not a big Olive Garden fan.
Oh, yeah. There are plenty of detractors for Olive Garden.
Yeah.
Sure.
Years ago I was, and I loved the breadsticks, and the salad. But the last, I don't know, few times I've gone there, it's just, all I can think of is I just wish the food that's in front of me looked like the food that's in the commercial. Because it doesn't. It's crappy looking cold. It's
I don't mind Olive Garden. A lot of people dump on it because, it's an Italian place. All right, it's Italian inspired, just like Taco Bell is Mexican inspired. Right? And some of their dishes can be tasty, but authentic, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you a good Italian place is that R-A-U.
Oh, in Caesar's Palace?
In Caesar's Palace.
Oh, that actually closed like 5 years ago, Mike.
Did it?
Yeah.
Gosh, I haven't been over that way in a while. Yeah, they had good food. I really liked their food. Their sauce was a little too sweet.
Okay.
It had just been a little less sweet, but otherwise the food was really good there.
Did you ever get a meatball there? Was there a good meatball?
Yes. Yep, good meatball.
Right.
I always get a meatball. If I go to a place that has meatballs, I get a meatball. I'm a big meatball fan.
Of course you are.
Yeah, of course. It's the best sandwich at Subway, the meatball sub.
Yeah. Or as we call it here in Southern California, a po' boy.
A po' boy. I'll tell you the nice thing about those. meatball subs that's authentic.
Yeah, you want to talk about Italian.
Yeah, we were in Italy. Everywhere we went, Rome, we were in
They'll
Pisa.
say, we'll make you a meatball sandwich, but honestly, go down to the Subway in the tourist area.
Yeah,
and you'll get an
it's
authentic
cheaper. I do love a good meatball, though.
So, yeah, very exciting Kentucky Derby. Did you watch it, Mike?
Yes, I did. That horse came from nowhere.
He literally from last place.
Yeah. Late in the race, too.
Yeah.
I can see if you get a poor start, but by halfway through, you're up in the pack. No, halfway through the race, he was still dead last.
It's always exciting when a long shot wins. And, there was no super favorite this year, right? There were.
Right. Well, there were a few like co-favorites that.
Yeah. And they were like, I don't know, 5-1, 4-1. It wasn't like there was some even money favorite or something. So, yeah.
Right. There was no 9-5.
Right. But no Triple Crown this year because Golden Tempo will not be running in the Preakness, which is this upcoming Saturday. So be sure to tune in.
Right. Well, they're probably too tired. I mean, I can't imagine the amount of energy it must have taken that horse to. Come from
and again, a Triple Crown winner is really unique because they have to be good at different distances. And, most horses specialize.
Right. That last race is really long.
Yeah.
And to win that.
Have you ever camped at Zion, Dr. Mike?
I have never camped there.
But you've been there? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. The last time we went to Zion, the roads were kind of messed up and you could only enter from one way. You used to be able to enter from either side. And this was, for some reason, was just one way. And it was a little, I don't know. To say disappointing, but it is a beautiful place.
Yeah, it's great there. God, that must have been quite a while ago, Mike, if you're talking about. Okay.
That was a while ago.
All right. Yeah, beautiful there. I agree.
Yeah, I like Zion, but I think the Grand Canyon is my favorite.
Yeah, it is hard to beat the Grand Canyon. I mean, it's different. It really is different to compare the two. Because, there's some hikes you can do at Zion. If you're hiking in the Grand Canyon, basically you're just hiking down into the canyon, and
or in the woods.
That's true. Yeah, the surrounding area. Anyway, they're both great.
Although you can't beat that hiking in Colorado.
Oh, I love it up there, Black Hawk. Yeah,
especially if you're in Black Hawk. Yeah, it has everything we need.
Yeah,
beautiful
everything.
Scenery, hiking. Maybe they need a few more authentic restaurants. But.
Yeah, or a giant Target right in the middle of town. That would help, I think.
That would help a lot.
All right. Next call.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. It's Julio in the Bay Area. Just doing a quick trip report from a few weeks back. I just had an email saying I was going to stay at the Paris and the Venetian and how to spread my play around. Anyways, I thank you for that advice. Just a quick story. I probably was part of a best crap sessions ever for me. It was a 2.5 hour combination roll, 2 people. The first one, we'll call him player A. He lasted 1.5 hours. Player B lasted an hour. At the Paris, they have the bonus of make them all, and they have the fire bet. Anyways, I had like $5 on the make them all. Player A ended up making them all and also hitting all the numbers for the fire bet. Nobody else was really on the fire bet. There was only 2 people on. One only had $2 and one person had $1. The guy who was standing next to me came in and he tried to put his bet down. When he first started to roll, the dealer told him no because they had already rolled that first number, so he was unable. But he had put a $25 chip down. So if he would have been there a split second early, he would have got that. After player A finished, player B went on for 1 hour. He also hit the make 'em all.
Jeez.
One of the key takeaways for me was that after player A finished, I wanted to take a break. The stick person, since they already knew us, we were there for so long, said, hey, do you want to play the make 'em all? Even though you're taking a break, you can put it down. We'll put your line bet. We'll keep track. I said, nah, I'm okay. Maybe it took like a 15-minute break. When I came back, he made them all. So should have, could have, would have. But anyways, it's an emotional ride when someone is rolling for that long. Half of the time I felt like I should be increasing my bets and going really hard at it. in my head, I battled because I was like, the next number could be 7 out, right? And then you don't want to have a bunch of money out there. The second thing that's going in my head is, this is never going to end. It was like conflicting thoughts in my head about what's happening, because you feel like they're never going to roll that 7. These rolls started at midnight. So around 2 a.m, the tip-off came and changed the minimum to 100 on the table. When I get it so now other people could get on it, and they were like, after this roll, where you got to go to 100. But even that, it kept going. So they didn't anticipate it to keep on going. And then by 3 a.m., tip-off came and said, we're shutting down the table at 3 or when the roll finishes. Anyways, at the end of the day, player A cashed out $8,000. He was being a little conservative. Player B, his cash out was like $22,000, and he started with $500. So definitely the best cash out, best roll that I've seen in my lifetime. I did pretty good, but like I said, I battled myself. But I still cashed out with about $4,500, and I was down to my last $100. But I was like, I'm gonna go to bed after this. It's gonna take another 5 to 6 minutes, and I'll be in bed by midnight. Never mind. I ended up going to bed at 3. All right. You guys have a good one. Bye.
2.5 hours. Can you imagine, Dr. Mike? 2 shooters.
Yes, that would be very nice.
Especially, gosh, I'm thinking about how you bet, Mike. It could have been 6 figures you cash out for.
Yeah, easily. You can't ever think to yourself, oh, the next roll is going to be a 7 or this is going to go on forever. Of course, that goes through all of our minds.
It does. Boy, when you're in the middle of a hot roll, you do think, wow, he's just going to keep rolling.
Right. Or, I'm scared the next number is a 7. But that's really what makes the game fun for me.
Yeah.
Personally, is I like the fact that, can he do it again?
Yeah.
Can he do it again?
Well, it's something to keep in mind, too, if you are walking away from the table because you need a break. Generally, casinos will let you make the side bets before you walk away. In some cases, they won't let you make certain bets. It's like, no, you have to be at the table for that. But like a fire bet or all small tall, they'll let you do it. And if you say something like, hey, and if they lose while I'm gone, please put me back up. And most casinos, I would say, will do that for you. They'll keep track.
Yes.
So, don't be afraid to do that if that's a bet that you like to make. All right, one more call. Let's hear from Reverend Dave again.
Hi, guys. It's Reverend Dave from Northern New Jersey again. So on a recent episode, there was a segment about pressing bets. And towards the beginning of that segment and again towards the end, Mark said something along the lines of, well, the math says you should probably never press your bets at all. And I just wanted to go on a little bit of a rant and say how wrong that is. Because if you really think about it and really think about what the math says, you would never even step inside of a casino. So there. Anyway, love you guys. Love the show. Keep up the good work. Bye.
Yeah, absolutely true. The math says don't bet.
He is correct. Yeah. But once you're in the casino and betting, should you press?
No, you shouldn't press. What you should do is take your bet down.
Right. If you're sitting at home thinking, well, what would be the best way to guarantee I don't lose? Well, don't go. Oh, it's not just gambling. It's everything in life. There's so many different ways to look at things.
You're absolutely correct, Dr. Mike.
And that's why we have controversies and problems, because not everyone's on the same page.
I agree with you. Not everyone is on the same page. But if you're on the same page as I am, Dr. Mike, for our show notes, it's time to wrap it up. We're done with this episode.
Sounds good, Mark.
First of all, we want to thank some people from some recurring donations. From Brian Dancer, from James M., from Jeremy at the Color Up YouTube channel, from Kurt S., from the International Brotherhood of Gobbling Donkeys, and from Tim S. Thank you very much for those recurring donations. We also got a donation from listener David H., donation towards karmatically increasing gambling prosperity for all those in Vegas at the end of May, including my friends and myself. Thank you for all the great entertainment and insight you've brought over the years. Thank you very much, David. Also a donation from Reverend Dave, who we heard from earlier. Karma donation for my WSOP trip and Dr. Mike's school. Split as you wish. Thank you very much, Dave, and good luck at the World Series of Poker.
Yes, thank you. I hope you win for that good positive donation.
Yeah, thank you. And finally, a donation from our good friend Robin Aubin, who we virtually heard from earlier. Hey, you can buy merchandise for You Can Bet on That and for The Better Life at bettermerch.com. That's BETTOR merch.com. You'll find a link for that at the top of our webpage. Also on our webpage, you'll find a list of all the gambling-related shows coming up on American television in the next 2 weeks at youcanbetonthat.com/TV-listings. If you're looking for a movie to watch, check out our list of gambling-related movies at youcanbetonthat.com/movies. And if you want to listen to songs with gambling-related lyrics, check out our You Can Bet on That Spotify playlist. Just click the link towards the top of our webpage. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS.
9512-WAGERS.
Or you can email us at youcanbetonThat@gmail.com. We're also on Twitter at YouCanBetOnThat. And on Facebook at facebook.com/YouCanBetOnThat. All right, over to you, Dr. Mike.
Well, Mark, I don't really have much this week.
Sure.
It was, quiet week. School year's winding down. Summer's coming. Weather's getting warmer here, although it's been windy as heck. So, not much going on. I don't know what I could tell you.
All right. Well, you don't have to say anything if you don't have anything. I mean, saying nothing is better than, just a bunch of fluff.
That's true. That is true. Although I'm sitting here looking at my wall of fame here.
Oh, like your sports memorabilia?
Tony Gwynn all around me, and Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan. Let's see. Who else? We got Babe Ruth up there. Got Roberto Clemente.
I don't know, Mike. This seems like fluff.
Yeah, it's kind of fluff. But I'm telling you, I'm in a sweet spot here just staring at this stuff. Okay. I might do that for a couple hours.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to San Diego.
Yeah, me too.
And then not too long after that, we're going to New Orleans and Biloxi. So that'll be good.
A lot
I'll
of
have
good
to
things.
think of something for the end of the summer.
Okay. I may have some ideas. I'll let you know.
Okay. I'm up for that.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll talk again in 2 weeks.
Good night.
All right. The game is San Diego Scooby-Doo. 3 decks. We use all the jokers and instruction cards.